You might not realize you're overfunctioning. You just know that when something needs doing, somehow you end up doing it. You remember, you organize, you anticipate, you fix. You step in before anyone even asks. And because you've been doing it for so long, it may not even feel like a choice anymore. It just feels like who you are. Overfunctioning can look very ordinary. You're the person who remembers the appointments someone else forgets. You notice when something needs organizing. You solve the problem before it becomes a problem. You pick up the slack when someone doesn't follow through. And perhaps you often find yourself thinking, it's easier if I just do it. And sometimes it is. But when that becomes your automatic response, something changes. You stop simply helping. You start taking responsibility. Helping says, I'm here if you need me. Overfunctioning says, don't worry, I've got it. Even when nobody asked you to. And this is what can make overfunctioning difficult to recognize. It doesn't necessarily come from wanting attention. It doesn't always come from wanting to be needed. And it isn't necessarily about proving your worth. Sometimes it simply becomes your default. Perhaps you have learned that things feel safer when you're prepared. Perhaps you have become accustomed to being the responsible one. Perhaps you have spent years anticipating what other people might need. Or perhaps you have discovered that stepping in prevents disappointment, conflict, or chaos. So you do it. Not because you have consciously decided to carry everything. You just keep responding in the same way you've always responded. Until eventually, something starts to feel wrong. You may begin to feel resentful. You wonder why nobody helps, why nobody notices, why everyone seems to assume you handle it. And this is where overfunctioning can become complicated. Because sometimes nobody actually asks you to do all of it. You noticed. You anticipated. You stepped in. You made yourself responsible. And over time, what began as helpfulness can quietly become an expectation, both for the people around you and for yourself. That doesn't mean you caused the problem. It means a pattern has developed. And patterns can be difficult to change, particularly when they once helped you feel safe, useful, or in control. So when you begin stepping back, it may feel uncomfortable. You might feel guilty. You might worry that you're letting someone down. You might think, but what if I don't do it? Who will? And sometimes the answer is, maybe they will. Maybe someone else needs the opportunity to take responsibility. Maybe something doesn't need to be fixed immediately. Maybe a problem can belong to the person who created it. Maybe someone can experience the consequences of forgetting something without you rushing in to prevent them. And perhaps you don't have to make everything okay. Because caring for someone and taking responsibility for them are not the same. You can support someone without taking over. You can be dependable without being permanently available. You can care deeply and still allow another person to carry their part. That can take practice, especially if people are accustomed to you stepping in. They may not even realize how much you've been doing because you've made it look so effortless. And when you stop, the difference can suddenly become visible. But you don't have to rush back in simply because someone notices. You can pause. You can let someone else figure something out. You can allow something to remain imperfect. And you can cover that things don't necessarily fall apart when you stop managing every outcome. So the next time you feel yourself automatically stepping in, pause before you say, "I've got it." And ask yourself, is this actually mine to hold? Not everything that needs doing belongs to you. And perhaps that's one of the quieter parts of healing. Learning that being capable doesn't mean you have to be responsible for everything. You don't have to stop caring. You don't have to become less generous. You don't have to become someone you're not. You simply get to choose more carefully what is yours and what isn't. Because sometimes the most important boundary isn't something you say to another person. It's the moment you stop automatically taking responsibility for something that was never yours. You can care without caring it. And perhaps, for the first time, that's enough.